If you walk into this bar, the second you step back outside, you're dead, shot right there in the street. But even if you stay inside the bar, you're still not safe. Salesman Sergio walks into a bar in Madrid. At the exact same moment, another man steps outside and instantly gets shot dead. Panic erupts. People on the street start screaming and running in every direction. Within seconds, the entire street is empty. Everyone freezes, looking around, but no one knows who fired the shot or where it even came from. Inside the bar, an employee named Ciatur quickly tries to call the police, but there's no signal. A few moments later, another man cautiously steps outside to check on the body, but the second he does, he's shot too. Now, everyone inside the bar is terrified. They want to call for help, but none of their phones are working. No signal, no way out. Just then, a girl named Elena speaks up. "Turn on the TV," she says. "Let's see what's happening outside." They switch on the TV, but to their shock, no news channel is reporting the 2 murders that just took place in the middle of Madrid. This seems highly suspicious to the people inside the bar. Their suspicion grows even more when they look outside and see that both dead bodies have disappeared, and even the bloodstains on the ground have been cleaned up. Everyone inside is now panicking. They have no idea what's going on. Ciatur then says, "Maybe someone doesn't want us to leave the bar." Sergio adds, "What if one of us is the killer or a terrorist carrying explosives? Maybe the police set up this entire operation to stop that person." Hearing this, a young man named Nacho slowly pushes his backpack aside with his foot, trying to hide it. But Sergio notices this and immediately tells everyone. The group starts checking Nacho's bag, only to find clothes and a hard drive inside. Nacho explains, "I work for a production company. This hard drive contains my work files. Nothing dangerous." However, no one believes him. To prove his innocence, Elena breaks the hard drive and shows everyone, saying, "Now are you all satisfied? There was nothing in it." Then Nacho points toward a briefcase sitting on the counter and says, "Check that briefcase too. It belongs to Sergio." Amparo starts opening it, but Sergio tries to stop her. Just then, a man named Israel snatches the briefcase from Amparo and opens it. Inside, they find women's undergarments. It turns out that Sergio is a salesman who sells lingerie. At that moment, they hear a noise from the bathroom. The door is locked from the inside. They start calling out to whoever is inside, but there is no response. So they break open the door and find a man sitting inside, behaving strangely. It's the same man who had entered the bar coughing earlier. He also has a syringe in his hand. Elena picks up the syringe. Just then, they notice a vehicle approaching outside. They feel relieved, thinking someone has come to rescue them, but instead masked men step out of the vehicle, pile up several tires in front of the bar, set them on fire, and drive away. The people inside scream for help, but the masked men don't even look back. A few minutes later, the news reports that a massive fire has broken out in the area surrounding the bar, and due to safety concerns, the entire zone has been sealed off. Now no one can enter or leave until further notice. Hearing this, the people inside the bar find it strange because the news on TV is false. There was no fire in the area. The footage being shown on television was actually of the tires set on fire by the masked men. Everyone inside the bar is confused when suddenly the man from the bathroom appears in front of them. His entire body is swollen and his eyes have turned horrifying. Within moments, the man collapses to the ground. Everyone rushes to help him, but he weakly says, "Don't touch me," and dies on the spot. Nacho picks up the man's phone and checks it. The man was an army officer. On his phone, they find several pictures of people wearing PPE kits, working in an African region affected by a virus outbreak. Seeing this, they realize that the government has quarantined the area. In reality, the army officer had been infected with a deadly virus while on duty. The government was tracking him to prevent the virus from spreading. During this, he had entered the bar, which meant the people inside might have been exposed. To prevent panic in the city, the government devised a plan to eliminate everyone inside the bar under the pretense of a fire. Amparo recalls that the army officer had warned them not to touch him. She suspects that Nacho, Elena, Ciatur, Israel, and Trini might also be infected because Nacho touched the officer's phone, and the others had direct or indirect contact with him. Sergio and Andreas agree with Amparo. Following this, Andreas pulls out a gun and forces the 5 of them to take the officer's body and move into the basement. With no other choice, they comply and descend into the basement. Amparo, Sergio, and Andreas remain upstairs. A while later, Trini starts feeling suffocated in the basement. She pleads for the door to be opened, but no one agrees. Desperate, she attempts to open it herself, but she slips and falls onto a stack of glass bottles, breaking them. At that moment, they notice liquid from the broken bottles seeping downward. Removing pieces of a nearby carton, they discover a manhole leading into the sewers. Realizing that they might escape through the sewer, Israel removes his clothes and applies oil to his body to squeeze through the small opening. He tries hard to fit through the manhole, but it is too narrow, and despite his efforts, he fails to get through. Suddenly, they hear gunshots from above. Terrified, they sit quietly, unsure of what's happening. Moments later, they see flames spreading from upstairs. That's when they realize that someone has killed Amparo, Sergio, and Andreas and set the bar on fire. Several hours later, the 5 of them cautiously emerge from the basement. The fire has almost completely destroyed the bar. Nacho finds a gun lying there and secretly keeps it without telling anyone. Just then, they see people outside sealing off the bar. They remain silent, knowing that if anyone discovers they are still alive, they will be killed too. Suddenly, they hear a phone vibrating. It's the army officer's mobile. Elena picks it up and begins reading the messages. One message read, "Has your condition improved after taking the vaccine?" The officer's reply says, "Not much improvement. I'm hiding in a bar's bathroom." Elena scrolls further through the chat and finds another message from the officer. "I still have 4 more. Reading this, they realize that the vaccine he had was the antidote to the virus. They feel hopeful, but a doubt lingers. If the vaccine worked, then how did the officer die? Just then, the army officer's phone starts ringing. However, before anyone can answer, the phone shuts off due to low battery. Elena recalls the chat message where the officer mentioned, "I still have 4 more. She realizes that he must have been talking about 4 remaining antidote vaccines. They rush to the basement to check the officer's body, but they find no vaccines there. Then they head to the bathroom, where they find Israel already sitting with 4 vaccine vials in his hands. Israel says, "There are only 4 vaccines, but we are 5 people. One of us will have to sacrifice." Elena suggests splitting the 4 doses into 5, but Nacho interjects, "The vaccine contains a fixed dosage. Instead, we should draw lots. Whoever gets it will take the vaccine." Before anyone can act, Israel injects himself with one of the vaccines. Seeing this, Nacho attacks him. A fierce fight breaks out between them, but Israel overpowers Nacho and even takes his gun. During the struggle, one of the vaccines slips from Israel's hand and falls into the basement. Trini quickly runs down to retrieve it. Unfortunately, the vaccine vial slips from her grasp and falls into the sewer. Now they all wonder how to retrieve the vaccine. Elena, being the slimmest among them, is chosen to go down. She hesitates at first, but with no other option, she agrees. They apply oil to her body and push her through the manhole. After struggling, she finally lands in the sewer. Moments later, Elena finds the vaccine and emerges from the water. Nacho drops a wire down and instructs her to tie the vaccine to it so they can pull it up, but Elena refuses. "If you want the vaccine, come down here yourself," she says. Hearing this, they break the edges of the manhole to widen the opening. Meanwhile, Elena searches for an escape route and secretly hides the vaccine in a spot. She then sees a group of police officers outside. They are sanitizing the corpses of those killed in the bar. Eventually, the remaining 4 manage to squeeze down into the sewer. Once again, a fight breaks out between Nacho and Israel. This time, Nacho gains the upper hand, seizes the gun, and shoots Israel underwater. Witnessing this, the others are terrified of Nacho. Nacho then holds Ciatur at gunpoint and orders Elena to hand over the vaccine. He says, "If I kill Ciatur, only 3 of us will remain." However, he does not pull the trigger. Elena then leads them to where she hid the vaccine. As they move forward, she and Nacho are in the front, while Ciatur and Trini follow behind. Suddenly, Trini pushes Ciatur into the water, attempting to drown him so that the remaining 3 can take the vaccine in peace, but Nacho stops her. Trini then says, "Kill me instead so you can have the vaccines." Nacho hesitates but points the gun at her. However, he cannot bring himself to shoot. Seeing this, Trini takes the gun from him, walks a short distance away, and shoots herself. The remaining 3 retrieve the vaccines and take 1 each. Just as they are about to inject themselves, Israel, who is still alive, attacks them from behind with an iron pipe, killing Ciatur. Seeing this, Nacho and Elena start running. Israel chases them. After some distance, Nacho and Elena spot a ladder leading upward. As they climb, Elena accidentally drops her vaccine. Since Israel is also climbing behind them, they cannot go back for it. Nacho, realizing the situation, hands his vaccine to Elena and says, "Everything will be okay." At that moment, Israel grabs Nacho from below. Nacho lets go of the ladder, and both he and Israel fall, crashing onto metal rods below, killing them instantly. Elena, devastated by Nacho's death, knows she must survive. She injects herself with the vaccine. Struggling, she manages to open the manhole cover and emerges onto the street. Outside, the area around the bar is still sealed off, and the streets of Madrid are crowded with people, all lost in their own worlds. A woman, noticing Elena's exhausted state, drapes a jacket over her shoulders. Still in shock from the day's events, Elena walks forward, blending into the crowd. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel.